Alright, this is going to be kind of an overview of if you have a dog Anthro in your life that you want to spend more time with, that you want to communicate with, and that you want to be able to cater to a little bit better, whether that be a friendship, whether that be a partner, whether that be a family member, adopted or, extended family sort of situations. The point of this video is to help you out with those sorts of things, with being able to understand them and being able to cater to what they need and what they prefer to make their experience as comfortable as possible. So, quick species snapshot. There are such a wide range of breeds and temperaments when it comes to canines. I have to prefix, this is data that I have gathered based on Golden Retrievers, German Shepherds, Dobermans, and Huskies mostly, which are kind of the more standard of dogs, if you would. But there is so much variation that I genuinely could do a video on each individual breed. So, in this video, I'm doing the broad strokes. Wolves are close enough to domestic canines that, for the purposes of this video, we're going to kind of lump them together a little bit. When it comes to domestication, they're not as heavily domesticated, but they're still domestic. Size-wise, you are looking at the middle of the road. These guys are sitting with foxes and cats in terms of size, and most of them are not going to have problems with infrastructure. Most infrastructure is going to be able to cater to them. Dogs are the epitome of domestication in most cases. We are talking bright, cheery, joyful, fun to be around, social. They tend to be naturally active and are happiest when they get some level of regular exercise. In terms of social reputation and stereotypes, canines tend to be perceived as a little dumb, but very sweet. This is in part due to a selective perception issue. Their brains just struggle under load a little bit. Many understandably don't like being perceived as dull, but a select few actually very much prefer turning their brain off. Individuals who prefer unplugging their brain are often much more intelligent than they appear. Their sweet and caring nature has seen the shit that the world does, and decided it doesn't want to deal with it. So they unplug. There's not a thought behind those eyes. This leaves just the sweet and stupid core that we know as the dog. Other stereotypes exist that are notable. Chihuahuas, for example, are known for their aggression. Speaking as someone who is also short, this is because they are closer to the ground, and thus closer to the devil. Huskies are notoriously talkative and sassy. They are heavily opinionated and will engage in debates for the fun of it. Please note that your house will always be cold if you live with a husky partner, because otherwise they will be miserable. If it snows or it's otherwise cold outside, you're going to struggle to get your partner or friend inside of the house. If it snows outside, your partner is going to be in the snow. That's what's going to happen. German Shepherds and Border Collies are very intelligent and can be extra destructive if they are not given something to do. Dog Anthro enrichment needs are even higher for these particular breeds. What I personally recommend is looking up your individual breed and making sure that you understand the characteristics that they may exhibit. If you know the biological function for that behavior, then you're going to have an easier time redirecting that behavior if it becomes an issue. Please note that we are not endorsing biological determinism. What we are trying to do is trying to better understand folks and try and make it easier for them to live a fulfilled and purposeful life. Where they tend to exist in society. Dogs, as part of the domestication process before anthropomorphization occurred, were purposely bred to specialize in specific roles. They each have some sort of specific purpose built into their DNA and how they are built, including things like endurance running, hunting and retrieval, guard work, and even some that are purely meant to look really fucking good. There's a breed for just about everything, which is why dogs are so diverse in height, temperament, and overall behavior. For this reason, you will find dog anthros in every aspect of life. They thrive in social environments, going back to their days as part of a pack, and tend to gravitate towards roles requiring cooperation. Due to their long history of loving to dig up and bury bones, they make for great archaeologists. Dalmatians kind of set the standard when it came to firefighting, and many canines really enjoy that particular profession. They tend to be good at crisis response in general, really. They make excellent guards. Some dog species were bred as guard dogs. They're very passionate about food. They can be very food motivated, and therefore they make very good chefs, especially diner chefs. Anything related to comfort food they're going to enjoy. And no neighborhood is complete without a beloved mutt mechanic. there are a couple of common crush archetypes that we fall back on that we may have seen during our childhood. Everybody fawns after the golden retriever boyfriend or girlfriend. Who's always happy, wants to be around you, enjoys the social aspects of life. Maybe you want someone you can collar that'll enjoy it. Maybe you're like me and you want to be some dog girl squeaky toy. Whatever it is, there's a promise of interaction between you and your partner. Dogfolk are built for kinship. Most of the common canine crushes I've found are actually of wolves more specifically. Notable examples are Legoshi, Death, Wolf O'Donnell. These tend to lean into the assertive, capable, dominant archetype, or completely subvert it in cases like Legoshi. We do have some domestic dogs, but they tend not to be made by major media brands, or if said media brands do make a dog character, it's not the type that people are going to find hot. There's Scooby-Doo, Snoopy, Bolt, ones that are family friendly. And I think that in and of itself says something about how we perceive them. Dogs are approachable and family friendly. They always have been in the public eye. I think the biggest departure from this more sanitized domestic dog idea would be characters like Isabelle or Cherry from Animal Crossing, but these feel like the exceptions and a permutation of internet culture rather than the rule. This is a mimetic sort of effect that they have taken on. I will take this time to note that their love shouldn't be expected to be infinite. They can have their emotions stray. They may not be able to give you constant affection, their feelings are often more complex than what is commonly portrayed, and some may be bad with routine or home life. They are not always so submissive, they are not morally infallible, and they can be caught up in drama despite their best efforts. Keep these in mind when working with your partner and set healthy expectations for yourself and for them. 3. Instincts and behavioral quirks. Here's where we get into the maintenance guide. This is especially important if you have a partner who is prone to stir. For those that are unfamiliar with stir or just now learning about it, stir is a stimulus-triggered instinct response. Stir is not something to be ashamed of, it is something that everyone works with. What we are trying to do is we are trying to help those with particularly strong or particularly frequent stir events. And for that, we're going to go over some natural instincts that still bleed through in daily life. Your dog partner is probably going to be a door watcher. They will know when someone is coming or going, or if anything is occurring outside. If they don't have one already, they may appreciate a chair or seat oriented outside for this reason. This makes for a really great gift. Just know that with this behavior, they may also be prone to shouting at folks through the window as well. Communicate your tolerated noise level early and often, because this is one of those behavioral things that's hard to shake. To help reduce their separation anxiety, greet them warmly, but try not to feed them too much attention when you get home initially. Take a second to unload groceries, put your keys down, take your shoes off, and breathe for a second before you give them any physical affection if you can help it. Dog folk often enjoy simple tasks. It is an excellent way to help fulfill a sort of biological urge they have and prevent rogue stir manifestations. I highly recommend assigning simple, doable tasks to your dog partner to keep them busy whenever they get restless. They do not need to be complex, and in fact, simple is often best. Retrieving things is one of the easiest ways for them to alleviate stress. Ask them to grab small objects like tools while you're working on something, get you something from the kitchen, or even have them run small trips to the grocery store. They may not realize it, but they will likely be happier having performed these small tasks. Just be mindful of how you phrase these requests, because while some love being treated like a lesser sentient, most will find this demeaning in some way. This differs on an individual basis, but generally you want to speak to them like a person and not an animal. Also, make sure to give them praise after performing the task, preferably accompanied by physical contact, such as rubbing their head, scritches, or otherwise riling them up. If a canine is really comfortable with you, then you may be subjected to something that is called a muzzle grab. This is when they open their mouth and literally grab your muzzle in theirs. It is not a kiss, just grabbing your whole face with their face. This is used in established relationships to reinforce a position, and if you're getting muzzle grabbed, that means your position is below them, so congratulations on that. But the gesture itself is not aggressive, it's really more playful. And do note, you can turn this on them too. If you know that you're the bad bitch in the relationship, then you can actually do this yourself on a canine to show them who's boss. Or, if you're really confident and or smaller than them, you can just gently cup their muzzle with your hand instead. But only do this if you're certain that they will submit, otherwise you will make a fool of yourself. Marking, more often referred to as claiming territory nowadays, is about ownership and familiarity. And they still mostly do this through scents, but in a very different way. Dogs prefer to stick to 1, maybe 2 scents for things like shampoo and cologne, and often something unique to them, which may result in them desiring obscure, though thankfully not necessarily expensive, hygiene products. If you have ever thought that dogs always have the most peculiar scents like leather leash or pickle brine, this is why. They're using something that distincts them from other dogs. If you need to get them a gift, getting them a bottle of shampoo of their own preferred scent or something that is very similar is actually fairly common and practical. It's kind of a side quest, if anything. Prove to them that you notice their presence and care for this aspect of them, especially touching if you are not a dog and or have a less developed sense of smell. It's touching in a way. 4. Dating and friendship logistics. Size and strength mismatches. Dogs can be surprisingly strong depending on height and weight, and those on the larger end especially struggle visualizing that size. This is especially true for wolves, as they tend to be in a higher size subcategory than domesticated dogs, but it's not a significant enough change that they are considered a completely separate size category, such as those for big cats. Also note that dogs do love to roughhouse. This is important when trying to be loving or intimate if there is a size mismatch for your species. They really are trying, but they do forget sometimes. If you are small, please be careful, because you can get smushed. You may have trouble with dogs if you are naturally more low energy and how you personally respond to higher energy individuals. Thankfully, dogs in particular work very well when it comes to working with introverts. If you can find the right match, then you are going to have a great experience with your dog partner. They will naturally want to pull you into new situations that you may enjoy, and you will be able to have them experience things that they otherwise would not indulge in. For this reason, you will find a lot of dog and cat couples out in the wild, so to speak. While we're here, let's go ahead and get rid of the stereotype that cats and dogs don't get along. That's bullshit. I don't know why people keep on trying to continue this. It doesn't make sense. The whole cat-dog beef has been a long-standing joke, and really we're talking about 2 opposing teams more of that work well together in reality. The stuff that we do with the cat and dog thing is entirely performative. It's like it's a Coca-Cola versus Pepsi argument. When in reality, the answer is Dr. Pepper. Would rabbits be Dr. Pepper? I feel like, whatever, Rabbit gang. Dogs tend to be diurnal, though gamers, and particularly trans femme puppy girls, tend to lean more towards being night owls. If you are dating a trans femme puppy girl, please make sure that they are getting plenty of sleep and call them a good girl, because they deserve it. Gifts that go well for trans femme puppy girls include, but are not limited to, squeaky toys of Monster Energy drinks and or platformers, particularly Metroidvanias. Dogs can and will eat just about anything. Dietary preferences are generally not a big concern with dogs. Just try and avoid things with chocolate, which thankfully is not poisonous to canine anthros, but is a common food allergy and will lead to discomfort and or bloating. Which is often really bad because these guys fucking love chocolate. It's kind of the forbidden fruit of the dog world. Other than that, you are pretty set to go. They tend to eat a lot of meat, so if you are a vegetarian, that may be a bit tough, but they are not particularly picky. If it tastes good, then it's food. Thankfully, most of the time, this does not translate to other anthro species. The only ones at an even moderate risk are cats and probably more prominently squirrels, but the dog has been blessed with the better side of domestication and will likely not eat anyone in your friend group, nor is it a favored prey of any particular species. Which is always good when you're trying to date someone long-term, because it's kind of difficult to date someone long-term whenever they are touring someone else's digestive system. I'm looking at you, fellow rabbit anthros. The problem you do need to worry about is chewing. Stir-vulnerable individuals in particular may want various squeaky or stem toys to occupy themselves, as they tend to naturally teeth and interact with everything via their mouths. Oral hygiene is thus particularly important for canines, so please remind your absent-minded partner to floss and brush regularly if they struggle with this. And also, there are plenty of dental treats that can help with this sort of thing. Please note that there's a difference between the public self and the private self. Dogs will talk a lot of shit about people who aren't in the room but not really mean it. It's kind of a posturing thing, and it's definitely a biological leftover of some sort. Thankfully, most people kind of understand that this is the case. If you've ever seen a dog barking at the door but immediately stop barking whenever the door is opened, then you understand what I'm talking about when I'm referring to this. Here are some environmental needs that you should note. As mentioned before, these guys need stimulation of some sort. One of the better ways to do that is through something like swimming, which activates a play instinct. You'd think that means they love water, but baths and showers do not necessarily share this same sentiment. While most dog anthros are very much fine with bathing, some may need additional help or accommodations to feel safe. In particular, get a nice non-slip surface in your shower so it doesn't feel like they'll slip, and a shower head with an adjustable spray nozzle that doesn't berate the ears. This will help immensely for all mammals, but especially for dogs. Fireworks and other loud noises are not great for obvious reasons. Thankfully, this is a well-known issue, and happy hoodies are pretty common nowadays, especially around holidays like Independence Day and New Year's. Happy hoodies can be found at fireworks stands and convenience stores. Something notable that I think you might want to invest in as well is there are actually hoodies out there that have happy hoodies incorporated into the hood. It's a separate flap that you can actually open up and put on, so it's not something that you always have to have. I'm pretty sure the creator was a dog, if I'm not mistaken. They supposedly fit really well, they come in a variety of different sizes, and if you do happen to live in an area with a lot of noise, I do recommend getting a little bit of soundproof foam, specifically stuff that is hung up by those little tab things. That stuff is very renter friendly. It will help cut out a lot of noise that they experience in their environment. 5. Things to look out for. Dogs may beef with other species. You will kinda need to be prepared for that. Thankfully, pretty much everyone knows about the whole posturing thing with dogs. Basically, no one cares about it. Might be a little bit annoying, but it's something that you can expect, so. Some dogs really want to lead the simple life of a genuine pet, and you may have to navigate such a situation and consider what you want out of the relationship, so be prepared. Some folks would rather sleep in a crate and be collared 24/7. Consider if that is right for you, and if they are going to genuinely be more happy in that role. 6. Green flags and unexpected strengths. You may find that dogs may turn their backs to you in busy places and or not make eye contact while speaking to you. And if you want to know why, it's because they're protecting you. This is why some dog folk will deliberately pick the back wall of a restaurant or other places where they can get a clear view of the surrounding area. They are actually making sure that you are not bothered. Another thing they may do is be around you when you're stressed, even when you're not showing signs of stress, because they can actually smell your cortisol levels. They may not even notice that they're doing it, but they will go full therapy dog mode and show up when you least expect it because they know you need it. And finally, they may bend their schedule around you. They like routine, so when that routine is disrupted, it's usually for a good reason. That's them telling you that they care about you. These folks like to watch the clock. They like to know when things are gonna happen. And whenever they willingly do something in a different way, it's because they want to. I recommend giving them a little pat on the head just for that. 7. Long-term viability check. Particularly for partners, see what accommodations you can make to make their life more comfortable. And be willing to exert your boundaries whenever you need your own space. There are compromises that you will be able to make your lives more comfortable. And there will be things that you cannot change no matter what you do. These are sociable creatures, and that's part of the appeal. These are partners you can bring around to your family, they are reliable, they are a solid pick. It's hard to hate these guys. I do think that they can be noisy and a little bit much at times, but that is coming from an introvert that really likes being in his hole a lot of the time. A little bit of an energy mismatch at times, but that contrast can also be really stimulating. A lot of that energy is them needing something to do or just being a bit too social. It's being overzealous about something good, about wanting to be with you. I do love a good dog anthro. They're loyal, they're sweet, and they are reliable. And I hope you get along with them as well. What kinds of things do you see crop up in your dog friends, and are there any fun behaviors that you personally see? What species would you like for me to cover next? Please tell me what you guys think, and I appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you like, comment, and subscribe. Please do come back, and I look forward to seeing you then.